Hey everyone, Miss White here, and today I want to talk about building strong paragraphs. Making sure our paragraphs have the detail and the support that they need in order to have good writing. So building paragraphs is a lot like building a table. You need to have your tabletop or your main idea or topic for your writing, and that's like the top of your table, right? It's the main thing of what's being discussed. But you can't have a table without legs that are supporting it. And we need to have more than just one or two, because otherwise our table is just going to be wobbly. So we need to add different supporting details. Okay, so here we have two of them. But we really want to have at least four because it would still be wobbly. So if we add another one, now it's so much stronger. And if we add, now we have a table that can withhold and support some weight, and it's not just going to give out on us. So you may be wondering, what does that look like? How does that apply to actually writing? Well, if we have a topic, okay, so let's think about our topic. Like, why is it good to read? Why should we read every day? Well, we want to turn that around and we want to make it a statement. So we might say, reading is good for everyone. Well, that's our main idea. It's our main concept. It's what we're trying to explain. But how are we going to explain that? How are we going to prove it? How are we going to keep that tabletop up in the air and not crashing down to the ground? Well, we need some good, verifiable facts or reasons. So let's think. The first one is that reading helps us to become better writers. Another reason is because it can help us become better readers. Man, now we have two ways to prove that reading is good for everybody. However, our table would still be kind of wobbly with only two legs. So it's a really good idea for us to have a third leg. So that third one, I know, reading helps us learn how to speak properly. Most books can give us a good example of what proper English looks like. Okay, so reading helps us learn better English. And I put a little star there, and I did that because it's a most of the time. Especially within the narrator. They usually use proper English. But sometimes the characters speak how we speak, and that's not proper English. However, when we're reading nonfiction, we're reading books that are more everyday and not set in like way back in the day or whatever. But a lot of times, most books, I would even go up as high as saying 90% of books we read can really help us develop better English, especially if they're published professionally and not through like Wattpad. Right, guys? Okay, a fourth reason. Okay, now our table is pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy now. There's tables with three legs all over the place. They're just more triangular, okay? But with this specific table, we really would like a fourth leg to stand on. We want to make sure this is rock solid, right? So that fourth reason is that reading actually helps us develop a better vocabulary. Look at that. We now have not just one piece of proof, and that's not what I wanted. One piece of proof. We not only have two pieces of proof, not even just three, but four solid legs of proof in our paragraph. Every time we write an informational piece of writing, whether it's a persuasive essay, an informational essay, an essay about something we read, most essays, if it uses the word essay, you should really remember that we want to make sure we use this type of paragraph. I want to point out something else. Our ma'am essays also usually have 4 sentences, don't they? They give us support for what we're trying to describe. We are making sure we can truly back up our statement. 3 to 4 is really the best. Okay, now let's see how we would put this together. Okay, so now we've put our table aside, and we're actually going to write the paragraph. Our first sentence in this paragraph is going to be our main idea. Okay, so I've written the first topic sentence up at the top, and I've indicated it with a little red arrow here. And it's just that reading is good for everyone. I did notice, however, that over here on the table, I had put in. I don't know what I was thinking, where my brain was when I was writing this. But really, the word we want is. So as I was writing it out, when I realized that, I just made the change. So now we want to add the sentences from each of the legs, our details, our supporting sentences. And how I'm going to do that is by choosing the one that I feel best fits next. So if I look back over them again, the one that I feel is the best is that reading helps us become better readers. So I think I'm going to start there. And as I was writing that, I had another thought. Reading helps you become a better reader. Well, that's true, but how much do I need to read to become a reader? A better reader? Do I need to read, I don't know, for 2 minutes once a week? Or do I need to read every day? How much? What? What? So I just went ahead and I added the word every day. No big, just added that. I also decided to avoid the word us, and I changed it to you. I didn't want to refer to myself in this, but I wanted to refer in general to the you and decided to change it more to second person. Or a direct second person. So next, I think that from reading, we also develop a great or improve our vocabulary. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Okay, I did it again. It seems like every time I go to write my original thought down, I come up with new and better ideas. Hey guys, that's part of being a writer. We edit, we revise, we make changes all the time. So I made a change here, and instead of just saying reading helps us develop a better vocabulary, I changed it to a more advanced vocabulary. Because what is better? Well, it's more advanced, it's improved, right? So I just wanted to make more specific in my word choice. Okay, so from here, let's go to the third detail. Let's see, I went from being a better writer, more advanced vocabulary. Okay, I think now it's time to talk about this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Reading helps us. Well, actually, reading helps you. We have to keep the same word choice here. If I used you up here, I should continue using you, right? I changed it to you here and here. So I want to make sure I use you here. Reading helps you improve your English skills. Well, as I was thinking about this, I was thinking, what kind of English skills? Specifically, it can help you with your spoken English skills, knowing what sounds right, how it's supposed to be said. Okay, disclaimer. Not every book out there is going to help you with your readings, with your English skills. Some books are just really poorly written. And some books are like Wattpad, and it's just written by people who may or may not know English very well. And finally, you have to be reading in English. But it just depends. And then there's some books that are really well written, but they're not written using proper standard English. So it just depends. But often, most of the time, reading can really help our English skills, spoken and how we understand it. I also went ahead and added a transition phrase because it's just starting to sound really choppy. Reading does this, reading does that, reading does this. It gets kind of boring. We need something else to start a sentence. So I went ahead and added also. I was thinking if I wanted to, I could go here, like up here where it says reading, and I could put in addition. or some other phrase. It's okay to add transition phrases in between. Okay, last but not least, reading also helps us develop better writing skills. You know what? I'm going to change that and not just start with reading, but I'm going to end it. So finally, reading helps you and me develop better writing skills. Whoa, look at that. I now have 5 sentences in a paragraph. Isn't that amazing how easy that is to do? And it only took us 6 minutes. Okay, it only took us 6 minutes once we had our brainstorming done. But what I really want to emphasize, though, is sometimes, though, we might need a concluding sentence here. And so we could add a concluding sentence that kind of summarizes everything. We could say, there are so many reasons reading is good for everyone, good for some. I don't want to say everyone again, but I want to mean everybody. So reading is good for, I know, how about people of all ages? Man, silly notifications. Stop making sounds. Alright. End of paragraph. Guys, I'm going to give you a big fat hint. Ready? Use introductory and concluding sentences. There may not be a floor on this. We have our main idea for our topic and we have the details. And it's not necessarily required then to add a concluding sentence always. But most of the time, it makes our writing really stand out and really be better. Okay, well, I hope this helps with the paragraph writing. And I know this video is kind of long compared to a lot of my other ones, but I hope it helps. And I'll talk to you next time.